Viewers, 2024, 2024, the year of our Lord. We are here today, gathered in the non-stop rain of Landing Strip 2.0, formerly known as Great Britain. Got renamed to Britain, now it's just Landing Strip 2.0. We're here in, you might think you'd pronounce it Keighley, but it's pronounced Keighley. And we are about 10 miles, maybe a bit less, northwest of Bradford. Bradford being in Yorkshire. And we are obviously in North Yorkshire, just here. And it's a very diverse town. It's about 33% Southeast Asian, the rest being white British. I did have a look at the official census data, and there are 300 black men in Keighley of a population of 48,000. Sorry, 58,000. That's a lot. 10,000 I was missing there. This shot's for Steve, the manager of Admiral in Burnley. Threatened me with arrest and quoting wrong laws, gambling acts at me, as if that supersedes my right to gather photons on the public street. And here's the job centre. The old job centre. There's another one I'll show you. Eagle-eyed viewers will notice, wow, Charlie, it's raining again in your video. I've given up on the sun. I've given up on normal, varied weather. I now accept my weather-controlled, energy weapon-controlled... I'm only joking, I don't believe that. It's just very unfortunate we've had storm after storm, one after the other. Last 7 weeks, non-stop rain. Making work pay. Claim universal credit online. Here is your inspiring 1970s Job Centre Plus. Do Americans and Canadians have an equivalent to a job centre, which is a government-funded place where you abandon all hope and have a look on the telescreen for what jobs might accept you? Who knows? Hi, what's up? Why are you pointing at me?
Just wondering why you're taking pictures.
Why? That's a philosophical question. What is this a... Why am I taking pictures, madam? That's probably why I'm taking pictures, yeah. I wanted to maybe capture. Well, I'm doing a bit of reconnaissance on government buildings. I want to see if I can find the ugliest government building.
Oh, well, we've got a lot of that.
All right, but anyway, I'm not a terrorist. You guys can relax. But what amazes me, though, is like a guy with a camera in public, and you're pointing at me and bringing a security guard out to speak to me, as if a man walking around in public.
It's not that, because what is we're concerned about everyone's safety.
And how does a man with a camera? What am I gonna?
We get vulnerable customers coming in.
Vulnerable customers.
That might be, the amount of escapes from violence.
Oh, and then public photographers could like ruin their lives.
No, just if you take a picture, you have to give the locations and everything.
Right.
That's all we're asking you. As long as you're not taking pictures,
all right.
that's okay.
Sure. I'm a bit offended because all you've seen of me is me stood out in public with a camera, and you're talking about safety. What? What's that? Which is, madam, we fought 2 world wars so that you could walk around and get video.
Well, we've asked you, you've explained. So.
Yeah. All right. I'm not a terrorist, I promise.
We don't have custody of the terrorists, just saying.
Nah, you're all bored and overly paid, I think. And right next to the job centre, some desolate wasteland and an abandoned Victorian warehouse. It looks quite cool. If you'd like to live in Keighley, they might renovate this one. Let's see if I can get a shot without the grill. No, I'm not going to get a shot without the grill, but there's the best I can do. Bit of construction, why not? Well, now you're told. Here's the entrance to the Keighley. I'd call it Keighley again. Keighley train station. And thick in the air is the smell of a coal burning, coal fireplaces. I'm sure it's not a coal-powered steam train. I'm sure. It might be, for all I know. Anyway, I don't know if you can see that. Every single train cancelled. Cancelled, everything cancelled. Keighley. This is the Victoria here on Cavendish Street. Formerly a hotel, and much like the destiny of many of these old Victorian buildings, as these towns kind of collapse as the industry and the textile and the milling and the factories all disappears, as in the Industrial Revolution fades away, the buildings fade away. Here's the view back towards the train station in Keighley, Cavendish Street. Again, it's slightly better quality constructions with a kind of veranda awning, not veranda, sorry, a covered up patio cover. Very Victorian, everything's Victorian, and that's why it's all faded away. It's not good anymore. We've, as the license plate says, F-A-F, F around and F out. Here's the view on Hanover Street. It's a giant multi-story car park, Chernobyl, Soviet special, and to kind of take away from the glory of it, they've put some sunflowers, some blue, and if we come under this covered area, they've put the word Keighley with some butterflies. On a rainy day in January, it looks amazing. Look at, whoa! Here outside the library, the BT man is fixing something. Keighley Public Library. I'm looking for evidence that it was built by Andrew Carnegie, like a lot of the other public libraries around here, but not sure. It's still open. This might tell us. It was laid by Sir Swire Smith in 1902, and yes, it's a Carnegie Public Library. In this nice sandstone corner here on Albert Street, we are looking at the livery rooms, very large Wetherspoons bar, pub, and it's taken over the building next to it as well. 1902. That's why it's quite nice. Literal from the cradle to the grave, government services, government authority. Obviously the Keighley Civic Centre. I'm not feeling very civic or very centred. Colorized 2024 now, under the reign of King Charles Keighley in North Yorkshire. Okay, this old classical Victorian building. Hello, how are you, sir? Hello. It's Shah Jalal Jami Masjid and Jamia Karina. It's a mosque, I believe, and about a third of the population here is Muslim. And I see a lot of abandoned churches on the drive-in. We saw an abandoned church converted to a mosque. And I'm going to do a massive rant about Christianity in Europe in another video, not today. Random look along the main drag. Oh, look, it's West Yorkshire Police, or one of the Yorkshires. For me, it's the CCTV camera in the top left of the image here. That gives it that nice dystopian, the Soviet Union won the Cold War kind of vibe. You know you're in trouble when even the Fultons, which makes Heron Foods look posh, you know you're in trouble when the Fultons shuts down. Guys, I've got a good one for you. Yorkshire Building Society are championing the black female, white male couple. Usually it's the other way around, it's the black man and the white woman, but based Yorkshire Building Society are representing our African queens. For more faded glory, watch the Charlie Veets channel. We're looking here on North Street at the former, well, Star Hotel, now it's abandoned. This cool Greco-Roman, almost Art Deco 1930s one has been turned into an abandoned kitchen shop. And if we come along, nice skull cap, bro. If we come along, again, beautiful turn of the 20th century's arcade chambers. Just imagine the doctors, the lawyers, the accountants, the kind of like middle classes having a nice big office in arcade chambers, but now it's a barber shop. And as it should be, Russell Chambers is one big chartered accountancy company. Let's give them a free plug. Stark, Lambert & Co. Please cook my books. Cook my books and keep the tax man away from me, Stark, Lambert & Co. Keighley, Anti-War. Hello. Do you mind if I get a quick video of you guys? It will amplify your message. So,
Just a minute, I'm getting it.
yeah.
Can I have one?
Yeah.
My one.
Please forgive me, a humble, ignorant fellow. What's this about? I don't watch the news.
It's about Palestine.
Justice of Palestine, which is happening for the last 75 years.
75 years?
This is Sylvia Boyce, and she began the vigil. We stand here every day.
Every day?
Every weekday from 2 o'clock till 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
Sometimes more of us, sometimes fewer.
Oh, yeah.
And we just have our
Yeah.
silent vigil for the people of Palestine.
People of Palestine.
Because they're being slaughtered
Yeah.
by the Israeli apartheid
Oh,
state.
this is about Israel Gaza.
This is
I saw on the news, was there not a massive...
Isn't the message clear?
I saw on the news, was there not a massive terror attack against the Israelis by Hamas? Is that...
What you mean the massive? You mean the massive terror attack on the 7th of October?
That's the one, I saw that on the news.
That's the one of which the Secretary General of the United Nations said
Yes.
it didn't start here.
All right.
This argument started in 1948.
48.
When the British government
Yeah.
used its troops to expel 750,000 Palestinians from their land,
Yeah.
their homes, and their farms,
Yeah.
so that the Israeli Zionists could
Yeah.
have a homeland after the Second World War.
Oh, I know that, the Balfour Declaration when the British...
Declaration
Oh,
by
right.
The British
So,
is
okay.
when they decided.
Yeah.
The British decided,
Yeah.
having made the same mistake in India and
Yep.
everywhere else around the world,
Yes.
decided they would partition someone else's country.
I see.
So as they had in the same period in India, partitioned India and
Yeah.
said,
1947.
why don't the
Yeah.
Pakistanis go to West Pakistan and East Pakistan?
Yeah.
And millions were slaughtered by their former neighbours.
I see.
Before the British
All right.
went to India.
So I know a little
lived
bit...
in peace.
Yeah.
And before the
What-
British partitioned
Yeah.
Palestine,
Yeah.
the Palestinians lived in peace with the Christians, the Druze, the Jews,
I understand.
and everybody
Yeah.
else.
All right, because I'm not so good on history, can we come back to the modern era? Yeah, this is a video I'm doing. I hope you don't mind, because I think it's fascinating. I can amplify your message.
You have to go back to the same thing we're talking
Yeah.
about. Divide
Yeah.
and rule policies happen.
So-
and this is the place which
Yeah.
everybody want to be a peace in there.
Oh, I'll come round. Yes, sorry, the madam's right. I'll come round. Thank you, sir. Please, sir, please carry on your point. Please carry on.
The point is this. I'm also played cricket for the last 45 years.
Yeah.
I've seen the whole world. I've seen it. What we're talking about, it was created after Second World War. So
Yeah.
whatever happened in Europe,
Yeah.
they put all the people from Jewish, let's go to the Palestine. So
Sure.
British went there and then went
I
their
see.
land for- and slowly partition and they got everything from there.
Yeah.
So what the people going to do? They don't want to leave their land. This
I
is the
understand.
land for the biblical people, for everybody.
I know, sir. So let me just ask a difficult question, because I understand, so there's a 75-year Arab-Israeli
I'm
conflict.
75 years old. No,
You
there
look
hasn't-
fantastic for 75.
No, there hasn't been a 75-year conflict.
Okay.
The conflict has been created by the Israelis,
Yeah.
who periodically,
Yeah.
who from the outset wanted a land that was free of Arabs.
I understand. So, but
Because
can I...
they believe in
Yeah.
the Torah and the Old Testament
Yeah.
that the land of Palestine was given by God to the chosen people, the Jews.
Yeah.
So they wanted from the outset.
I understand. Can I... Sorry, just to jump in. Sorry, madam, because I got to think about my video.
Yes.
So, for my...
Well, he asked me a question and answered it.
So to help me and maybe my viewers understand, what was October the 7th then, if not
October the 7th was a terrorist attack.
a
by
terrorist
Hamas.
attack by Hamas?
Yes, nobody denies that. Nobody here supports Hamas. Hamas are terrorists. The problem is that the Israelis are also terrorists who are running an apartheid state.
But
You cannot become
Sure.
a citizen of Israel
Yeah.
unless you're a Jew. They
But that's
run
not true, madam. I must pick you up on that.
Sorry, it is
I must
true.
pick you up on that. 18% of the Israeli population are Muslim Arabs. 18% are Muslim Arabs.
They're the ones that were actually left.
So
In 1948,
Yeah.
750,000 refugees
Yeah.
left Palestine.
yeah, but
because
it's not fair to call it an apartheid
because
state,
it
though.
is.
But they've got
It's a
20%
two-tier
Muslims.
state. No, they've got a separate legal system. The Palestinians do not have the same civil law.
Yeah.
They are
land.
ruled
Yeah.
by, by military laws.
okay, let me
They're
play devil's
locked up-
advocate.
Sorry,
Oh, sorry, it's okay, no problem.
Let me finish.
No problem.
They are locked up, children among them,
Yeah.
women, children, old people. They're locked
Yeah.
up in military prisons without trial, without charge.
trial.
Okay.
everything
No, that is
down.
not a good thing without trial. But can I ask the gentleman? I'll ask the gentleman.
Yeah.
Thank you, madam. I appreciate that. Thank you for that. What was I going to ask? So, you guys are saying Israel is the bigger problem here.
Biggest problem we created Israel. That's
Yeah.
why the whole world is worrying about it.
Yeah. Oh, but
And
sorry,
we-
I know my question. I remembered it. So, the lady here, thank you for the information, was saying
Want a ceasefire?
that Palestinians are not allowed to go and live in Israel now, today.
Not Israel. They're
Nothing to do with that.
they've been.
All we want is peace and justice in Palestine.
They
At
have
the
their own
moment,
But don't the Israelis have like a security
Sorry,
problem? There's so
there are
many.
Security problem for
20,000
Israel. Tell me,
dead
what security?
Palestinians.
Oh, I remember in the 90s, the 2000s.
IDF means what? Defense force. It's
Yeah.
not a defense. It's an
you're
offensive
asking-
force.
No, but when I was a kid, I was a young man. I remember the blowing up buses in Tel Aviv, Jerusalem.
Yeah.
The Alaska Martyrs Brigade, the Al Nusra Front, the Hamas, PLO.
PLO means what? Palestine Liberation
Who
Organization.
created
That's what.
750,000 Palestinian refugees?
Well, the British, if we follow that
But the
logically.
Israelis with the help of the British.
With the
because
British,
they
yeah.
gave half of Palestine to the
Okay.
Zionists
Okay,
after the
but
Second World
but all I want to say is to try and play.
Sorry.
Sorry, go on, go on, go on.
We want peace and justice in Palestine.
Yeah.
There can be no peace without justice.
Yeah,
Justice for the Palestinians is that they get their the
Yeah.
folk record that you play backwards. They get the house back. They get the land
I understand,
back.
but
they
so
get to live in peace.
do you think
with
then?
the
Wait,
people
one
who
second,
came
one
and
second.
took their homes and
One second
land.
for the back and forth.
Yeah.
Do you believe if the Israelis opened their borders and said the Palestinian, you can all?
Yeah.
Would there be peace if the Israelis opened their borders?
Dismantle everything.
Lock down their
Yeah.
walls.
Dismantle everything.
Dismantle.
Dismantle everything.
Yeah.
Just go back the army forces
Yeah.
and settlers. They're given a gun to go and kill the Palestinians. For
Yeah.
what?
But don't the Palestinians kill the Jews as well?
Well, when they never did. How
They never
gonna
did
do
it.
How are they going to do
Well,
it?
October 7th was a big one.
The big one.
Hamas
What happened is
killed
uprising.
1,200 people
What about
on 7
15 years ago? There was when they infiltrated the kibbutz and killed the kids. 15 years ago.
15 years ago?
I remember it's a famous one. Even I saw it.
No, sorry. You've got to come up with chapter and verse. You cannot
Okay.
just say 15 years ago.
I'm just trying to play for the sake of neutrality.
I
Yeah.
just came back from Palestine in June. I've seen it. The way they treat us,
Yeah.
these Jewish and Zionist people, they treat
Yeah.
us like animals, everybody.
Yeah.
They are not the chosen people. All the chosen people who have the Abraham there.
Yeah.
Abraham Accord means what? The prophet
Yeah.
is belong there,
Yeah.
and the Jesus born there,
Yeah.
and all the messages are there for the book of peoples.
Okay.
So when is the book called Torah, which is already said about Jesus, they said about Muhammad is coming,
Yeah, yeah.
they're denying it.
Okay. So how do we? Sorry, just to jump in. Last question. What would victory, or how would you guys be happy? What would happen in the
I'm
region?
happy when the settlers go back to Europe.
Back to
because they
Europe.
got two pa- no,
So
they-
expelling the
no,
Israelis.
listen to me. They got two passports,
Yeah.
Israeli or any European countries or anywhere. They can go anywhere.
Yeah,
So-
but I've got two passports.
Exactly. So
I've
why
got two
do you have the
passports.
And I
passports?
am super.
Yeah. Thank you. Final point. Final. And then I'll come to you,
Final
madam.
point is
Yeah.
For God's sake, tell the Americans, tell the Israel, tell the UK,
Yeah.
please go back to where
So go back to where you come from.
where they come from, but don't do anything with the Palestinians. They struggle for 75 years.
So Jews out, Palestinians stay.
So and then I went there, and one of the family was living for 75 years. They called them.
Yeah.
The Israeli soldiers called them. Leave them in 10 minutes. If like somebody Jean is there in the home for 70 years, I tell Jean, go away. This is my house.
I understand,
How are you going to
yeah.
feel? And the people who embrace those people,
Yeah.
and they tell them this is your land and everything. They go in there.
Yeah.
They give him everything. The Palestinians give him everything.
Yeah.
As soon as they get for 2 weeks, they kill everybody and
Yeah.
get the everything.
So
there.
okay. So to all the people who are European DNA out of the region.
Well,
No. Well, the lady disagrees. So what would victory be for you then, madam?
I agree with what Nelson Mandela said.
Go on.
When the apartheid system in South Africa ended with the release of
Can you speak up a tiny bit?
With the release of Nelson Mandela,
Yeah.
the apartheid system in South Africa ended.
Yeah.
They had a peace and reconciliation process. They all live together now in that country. There is
Yeah.
no apartheid state.
Yep.
When Nelson Mandela was asked about what freedom meant for him
Yeah.
as president of South Africa,
Go on.
after having been in jail for 27 years,
Yeah.
In his own country.
What did he say?
He said, we will never be free in South Africa until Palestine is free.
Yeah.
I agree with Nelson Mandela.
I do to an extent, but
I'm
yeah.
not interested in what you're the questioner.
I am the questioner. Sorry.
You're not supposed to be giving your views. You're asking me my views.
I'm a bad journalist.
standing
A bad
here
journalist. Go on.
Every afternoon between
Yeah.
2 and 3 weekdays.
Yeah, but the
Because
Israelis
this is
would just
what I
answer that the
believe.
Palestinians are too dangerous.
The
How can they be too
Hamas.
dangerous? Tell me.
Sorry.
How are they going to be too
you
dangerous?
Well, they do tend to
Do you think that every
attack the
Palestinian
Israelis.
man, woman, and
You
child
created
is a
Israel.
member of Hamas? Do you
No,
believe
how
that
can a
there
child
are-
be a member of Hamas,
So,
madam?
how
I know,
can-
yeah.
How can a woman or a grandmother or a grandfather? Do you actually believe that all Palestinians are Hamas?
I can believe that a female can be a
So do you believe that all Palestinians are Hamas?
of course not.
No. So all the people that are being bombed and murdered and
Yeah.
slaughtered,
Yeah.
including a Palestinian child every 10 minutes on
Yeah.
average.
Yeah.
Would you like to give me a figure for how many of those 20-odd thousand so far are
Yeah.
actually members of Hamas?
But can we trust the Hamas health ministry?
Well, you can trust whatever is.
Hamas are liars and terrorists. You said so. Sorry, go on.
The
Sorry,
Israelis tell you how many Hamas they've killed.
but 5 minutes
They
ago you told me
know.
Hamas were terrorists, so we can't trust them. We can't trust them. But let the gentleman ask.
How can you say,
Go on.
what's the difference between freedom fighters, uprising? What do you mean by freedom fighters?
A freedom
mean by
fighter.
freedom
One man's freedom fighter is another
No,
man's
freedom
terrorist.
fighters means
You're
what?
fighting for the liberation of your people.
Liberation,
Yeah.
exactly. The
Yeah.
Palestine liberation for last 75 years.
Yeah.
You give them a land.
Yeah.
But whatever happens in Europe,
Yeah.
it's nothing to do with in Arab countries.
Yeah.
So you settle down all these people, and the local, native people, like in America you say native people.
Yeah.
I've been to, who are the Native Americans? Redinen say, don't call us Americans.
Yeah.
We all, how the America built, you know it everything.
I know,
about it. We
I know.
know it about it. The history of British Empire, British history, you know about it.
Yeah.
The European everybody, you arms everybody from the start.
Yeah.
As soon as Israeli Jewish born,
Yeah.
they make them to go and do the army duty there.
Yeah, the military 3 years,
everywhere in
isn't
the
it?
world,
Yeah.
If you're Jewish, if you are a genuine Jewish, you do it. Otherwise, nobody
Fair enough.
converted into that. So
Yeah.
what I'm saying is,
That's final thought. I need to go.
the
Final thoughts.
thought is, let's have a peace in Arab countries.
Yeah.
Arab don't want a war over there.
Yeah.
You created Israel. Tell the Israeli peoples,
Yeah.
please, for God's sake,
Yeah.
enough is enough. You millions of children been died just because of you.
Yeah.
And you know what happened? They kill the kids and take their organs to America. They do so many
They
things.
take Palestinian organs to America.
They take it over. There are ruthless people, just like in the Moses time. We
Yeah.
talk about it. Moses time and the Pharaoh time. What
Yeah.
they have to do exactly the same.
But one
that-
thing I found, having met and worked with Jewish people, if you're fair to the Jews are fair back. It's just that they have an issue with the Palestinians bombing them and attacking them.
Every time there's
Sorry, go on.
march in London,
Oh,
there
go
are
on.
thousands of Jewish people who disagree with the Zionists. There is
Zionists, it's all
a
about Zionist
difference
people.
between Zionists
Yeah.
who want the land of Palestine for
Yeah.
themselves exclusively,
Yeah.
and Jews who say we were living in peace
Fair
and
enough.
harmony with
Yeah.
these people for 75 years. There are more Jews who are against Zionism. Look at all
I
the
disagree,
people-
but I value your
Look
opinion.
at all the people who've been expelled from the Labour Party
Yeah.
for anti-Semitism.
Yeah.
Most of them are Jews. Most of them are Jews.
Well, there was also Nadia Shah. She was a British Pakistani Muslim.
Sorry, let's, the figures are that most of them are Jewish. They're expelling Jews from the British Labour Party
Yeah.
because Keir Starmer has decided that he is a Labour friend of Israel,
Yeah.
not a Labour
No, but,
friend. So
same
is
as
the BBC.
Rishi
The
Sunak,
BBC
Sulu
rarely
Berman,
uses
they all
Yeah,
connected
all right.
with
the
them.
BBC rarely use the same language
Yeah.
when they're talking about the Zionists massacring and bombing and killing and slaughtering.
Yeah.
They use that language exclusively for Hamas, which
Okay.
is a very small portion of the Muslims who live.
All right.
And Hamas was created by the Jews. If
They
you
were
want-
funding Hamas to
if
fight the
you-
PLO. I remember that. But
Yeah.
how about final word? Last 30 seconds, madam. Last 30. Final
You
words.
keep saying that. Go on.
No, for you. Your last
Oh,
final.
my last
Yeah, go on.
word.
Go on.
What do you want me to say?
Okay,
I want-
give me
I
in
want peace
in
and
15
justice.
seconds. How can we stop the
I
Jews and
want-
the Arabs fighting?
I want a ceasefire
Stop arming them.
now.
Stop arming Israel.
No,
That's
I
it,
want
finish.
a ceasefire
Stop arming them.
now.
Stop arming them. That's
Yeah.
the main story. That's
All right,
it.
guys. I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for you and for you, sir.
Welcome.
My name's Charlie Veach. You can find me on YouTube.
Oh.
Okay, viewers, welcome to Colne, Colne, back in Lancashire, population 17,000. It hasn't stopped raining well, the whole day, for 7 weeks, I know, but it's raining heavily now. And all I can say about Colne is that it's neither here nor there. There's nothing to say or do here. Neither here nor there, my darling viewers.